Stephen, what you thought of the secondary play overall, especially when you compare it to the first maybe 4 or 5 weeks? What you thought of the best?
I think it's been tightened up. I give, both those corners a lot of credit, and then Mo came in, he's helped out. But I think it's a credit to all the guys together. And we thought, we kind of all thought that would happen, that it would take a little while for the communication, the working together, being on the same page, and it's nice to see those guys get some results.
Steve, what led you to have faith to use your linebackers going forward more these last few weeks?
Well, some of that, some of it's not called, some of it is. We designed some of it. You got to pick every week whether you want to do that or not do it. Sometimes it can create holes and be a problem. It can lead to good things if you hit it right, you guess right. We've been fortunate a couple times when we've done that particular plug-in scheme, whatever you want to call it, that we've made some plays. So whether we keep it in or not, this is a different challenge this week, a lot of run. Sometimes that can get a little dicey, creating vertical seams, so we'll have to be careful when we do stuff like that.
Coach, what have your impressions been of Dorian O'Daniel so far? Especially this is his first year in your scheme.
Yeah, well, listen, he's concentrated a lot on special teams right now. The tough thing once you get out of training camp and get into the season is being able to get reps to everybody to stay in tune. And he had that, I want to say, 2-week period where he got dinged a little bit and he wasn't out there, so that kind of set him back a little bit. I think he's working his way back into linebacker form. But we've got the rotation of the 3 guys we have there. I mean, Darren was playing for us, and then he got hurt. And Ben's been doing a nice job, so he's kind of finding his way in that mix of the 5 or 6 linebackers.
When a young player, especially like him, plays special teams, how does that help him when he does get into the rotation and playing defensive snaps?
Well, I just didn't know in the speed of the game. He's out there on the field. He's not standing on the sideline. I got to believe that's a benefit, that and tackling. And that's what I would say.
You were talking about the run game. They also got a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
So how do you weigh that, because you had the Green Bay as well,
yeah,
and teams that, isolate the running back on linebackers?
Yeah, first of all, a guy got to do a better job as a coach, not putting those guys in that tough situation. Last week we made an adjustment at halftime. If I had to do it over again, I would have made a different adjustment. I'm not going to go into the details because I don't want to tell the next team what we're doing. But I wish I'd have done a better job with that. I didn't feel good about what the linebackers had to do in those particular situations, and that's not totally their fault. But it is the same challenge. We've got some things we've thought of, somewhat changed, but I do believe it begins with, when you have a dual threat like that, is first concentrating on the run. If we could get them in a one-dimensional game where they've got to throw it, that'd be nice. It doesn't happen with this football team because they're committed to running the football. But we'll find ways to maybe not put our guys in that kind of situation and try to find a way. This number 33 is a good player. We've talked, when we first did our game plan meetings, we talked a little bit about the next opponent on Tuesday. He was the first guy we talked about. Now, we're not going to forget about the quarterback and the great wideouts they have and all that, but I think he makes it tick.
What does Chris Jones' potential return mean for the line?
Yeah, listen, Chris always, he's got size and he's disruptive. It's been games ago, feels like forever ago they played, but I do recall in those games he did play, there was always 2 or 3 plays in there where you could, I remember the Jacksonville game, but it was in the red zone, 3rd and 1 maybe, came through, that kind of play. You missed that, so hopefully we can get that back.
But Colin Saunders, has he been giving you some good
he's done a really
snaps?
solid job. And look, he's a young guy, coming out of training camp. He's a rookie, but he went in there. He's been grinding. Coach Daly and I look at this. I think he's getting better every week. that's all you can hope for with a rookie. They got to make rookie mistakes. We got a number of rookies out there. When Colin's on the field with Bouchard and Juan, you start adding it up, and there's some youth out there, and that's good. Get them young legs, but then you got to live with some rookie mistakes. But we've been encouraged by Colin.
You were pretty high with the injuries that you've had, and Chris coming back this week, is he kind of a guy that you could maybe lean on as an end and could play the edge role?
Well, he's done that. I don't know which way we'll go with that. He's been, when you lose all that time, I want to say it's been 3 weeks of practice right now. It might take a little bit for him to just get caught up being a tackle again. The system is still new to him. Don't forget, it wasn't an off-season for Chris, it was just training camp. So, but it's nice that he can do both. We'll just see how the game dictates.
When it comes to TK, you were really high about him on training camp. Is what you envisioned finally coming to fruition?
Yeah, I mean, he's made some real, more than anything, the play that sticks out that tells you all you need to know about TK is the second series when he made the sack on Aaron Rodgers, and that was just a relentless, I'm going to get there, and he runs pretty good straight ahead for such a big guy, but I think that speaks volumes about, what TK's all about.
Coach, you talk about Damian Wilson. He had the sack on, or actually he had when he pushed Aaron Rodgers out of bounds, had a penalty, then came right back and got the sack.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on how his play was last week?
Yeah, no, I thought all linebackers pretty solid job, except for those plays, which again, I put some of that onus on me, but Damian's been the guy, when he first got here, it was all about being physical and fast, and I love, they're meeting, the linebackers meet right next to my office, and so I can hear the interaction, and there's always energy in that room, and it's a credit to Matt House and also those guys, but I'm coming back to Damian. I just think he adds a lot to that room and the way he plays and the way he handles himself.
Steve, with the one thing that some coaches have mentioned in the past in terms of their creativity and scheme is having trust in their safeties, the fact that if they're solid, that gives you maybe more availability to do different things to sort of disrupt time or confuse the quarterback. Has that been the case?
I think that's a good
feels for you?
statement. Yeah, I think that's a good statement about that position. You got to have some flexibility there because if you don't feel like that particular position can do certain things, you're a little bit limited. But I think the two guys we got back there give us a little bit of flexibility. Certainly Tyron does. And Juan being young, we're trying to feed little things to him here and there. But yeah, we just want to get solid as a whole group, to be honest with you. Try to eliminate the explosive plays, those hurt us last week, explosive pass plays hurt us last week. If we could find a way to eliminate those and make teams earn it a little bit more. We're facing some really good offenses. This is another one. They move the football. What we weren't able to do last week that we need to do in every game is create turnovers. So hopefully we can get a couple of those.
Coach, you talk about the new scheme and you talk about the injuries, the new key players. How close in your mind is this defense to being where you envisioned it from the get-go?
Well, for me, it's not nearly close because, until it's 0 on the scoreboard, that's just me, I thought we did some really good things last week. We have the last 2 weeks. And this is just how I'm wired. When I look at the scoreboard at the end and it's Denver at 6 points, I feel decent, even though we did really good things last week, at the end of the game, I look up there, it's 31. It's not good enough, So we just keep grinding away. I do think they're getting better. I tell them all the time, just trust our way to improvement. If we just keep improving, I think we should all feel good about that.